Ever notice how some of the most ingenious inventions exist solely because we messed up in the first place? It's like humanity's version of, oops, better fix that. From environmental blunders to design oversights, we've built entire systems just to patch up our own errors. Let's explore some of these fascinating fixes. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch and Ocean Cleanup Devices. You know what we did? We invented plastic. Strong, flexible, waterproof. Honestly, an absolute marvel of engineering. But then we just kind of forgot to read the fine print. Turns out it doesn't break down. Not really. Instead, it just breaks apart, floating around in our oceans for centuries like unwanted party guests who brought their own glitter. For decades, we tossed plastic into landfills, streets, rivers, basically anywhere but a recycling bin. And guess what? Ocean currents are like giant conveyor belts. So they just gathered all that junk into one big, horrifying soup in the Pacific Ocean. It's now called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, and it's roughly twice the size of Texas. Yes, Texas, the state that's already too big. Enter the fix, the Ocean Cleanup, a group that basically looked at this environmental horror and said, yeah, we'll handle it. They developed enormous floating barriers that scoop up plastic from the water like a Roomba with ocean-sized ambition. And some of their systems, like System 03, can clean an area the size of a football field every 5 seconds. That's a lot of fish-friendly square footage. The irony? We had to spend millions and invent high-tech sea brooms just to clean up after ourselves. The whole situation is basically humanity leaving its toys in the living room for decades and finally realizing, all right, someone's got to clean this up. Password managers. Okay, here's the deal. We made the internet. Then we filled it with emails, banking apps, Netflix, and like 47 different store accounts because we needed that one coupon. And to keep all those safe, we invented passwords. Smart, right? But then we made the mistake of needing a different password for every site. And not just password 123 anymore. Oh no. Now it has to include a capital letter, a special symbol, your favorite element from the periodic table, and the blood type of your childhood dog. It became impossible to remember them all. So what do? We did the human thing. We gave up. We started reusing passwords. Easy ones, like I love you, or QWERTY, or literally password. Hackers rejoiced. Enter the fix, password managers. Programs like LastPass, 1Password, and Bitwarden stepped in like digital memory butlers. They remember every single login for you, even generate terrifyingly long ones, and all you have to do is remember one master password. Just don't forget that one. So yeah, we built a whole new tool to fix the fact that we broke the first tool by trying to outsmart it. A password to fix the password problem. Classic. Noise-canceling headphones. You ever try reading in a coffee shop and there's some dude on a FaceTime call yelling about fantasy football? Yeah, that's why noise-canceling headphones exist. But really, noise pollution is the invisible stressor of the modern age. It doesn't show up on Instagram, but it messes with your sleep, your focus, even your heart rate. Cities are loud. Planes are loud. Your office AC unit is loud. So loud, in fact, that we had to invent a product just to fight sound with more sound. Noise-canceling headphones were first dreamed up by a guy named Dr. Lawrence Vogel in the 1950s for pilots. Imagine flying across the Atlantic while your cockpit is basically screaming at you. Not ideal. These headphones use something called active noise control. Basically, they listen to the sound around you, then play a reversed version of it to cancel it out. It's like Jedi mind tricks for your ears. Now, everyone uses them. You've got people walking through chaotic cities, totally serene, listening to lo-fi beats like they're the protagonist in an indie film. And it's only necessary because we built our world too loud to begin with. A fix for a problem of our own making, again. CAPTCHA tests. The internet. A vast, open digital playground where you can connect with friends, buy socks shaped like sushi, or accidentally give your credit card number to a 14-year-old botnet programmer in Moldova. Once people realized you could automate anything, they did. And that meant websites were flooded with bots, filling out forms, snatching up concert tickets, making fake accounts, and basically ruining the vibe. So, in the early 2000s, we invented something to stop the machines. The CAPTCHA stands for Completely Automated Public Turing Test, to tell computers and humans apart. A mouthful, yes, but really, it's just that blurry text box that asks you if you can read squiggly letters better than a robot can. Then it got more advanced. Click all the pictures with traffic lights. Find the crosswalks. Identify the motorcycles. It's like a weird game show where you're proving your humanity one pixel at a time. And recently, it's evolved again. Now we have reCAPTCHA, where you don't even do anything. It just watches how you move the mouse and decides if you're human enough. Creepy? Kinda. Necessary? Unfortunately, yes. So there you go. We created bots, then CAPTCHA, then smarter bots, then smarter CAPTCHA. It's like a never-ending arms race over who gets to make a Reddit account. Recycling programs. Once upon a time, humans were like, we could just throw stuff away. It disappears, right? Spoiler, it did not. It went somewhere, usually a giant landfill, or worse, into nature. Especially in the 20th century, the rise of consumerism meant we bought a lot of stuff. Food packaging, soda cans, boxes within boxes, and we tossed it all without thinking twice. But as the piles grew, so did the consequences. Pollution, overflowing landfills, harm to wildlife. You name it. That's when recycling stepped in, like the planet's version of damage control. Cities started introducing separate bins. Blue for paper, green for glass, black for your sins. Programs popped up to collect, sort, and reprocess waste into reusable materials. It wasn't perfect. Actually, it still got a ton of flaws, but it was better than the alternative, doing nothing while we drown in our own trash. Recycling became mainstream in the 70s and 80s, but it still feels like a band-aid. A pretty important one, sure, but also a daily reminder that we created a culture of disposability, and now we're trying to slow the bleeding. Autocorrect and spell check. At some point, we decided that every single person should be typing on tiny screens half asleep, while walking, eating, or possibly all three. And that's when the typos started. Actually, scratch that. Humans have always been bad at spelling. Shakespeare couldn't even spell his own name consistently. Seriously, he used 6 different spellings. So when we gave the general population access to keyboards, emails, and social media posts, spelling errors weren't just common. They were inevitable. Enter spell check, a nice, neat little red line under your mistake, silently judging you. Later, we took it up a notch with autocorrect. Now, it doesn't just point out your mistakes. It fixes them for you. Sometimes aggressively, sometimes embarrassingly. You've probably been there. You wanted to say, I'll be home soon, but autocorrect thought you meant, I'll be home spoon. Or ducking becomes your new favorite swear word. It's trying its best, but even the solution has its own flaws. Still, the point remains, we invented a tool to let us communicate faster, but that came with errors. So we invented a second tool to patch those errors, and then sometimes a third tool to undo the second one when it got too smart for its own good. It's layers on layers. It's like building a ladder to fix the ladder. Car alarms and anti-theft devices. Cars used to be this shiny new luxury. Now they're just oversized keychains we park next to our groceries. But the moment cars became common, people started stealing them. Surprise. Humans do that. So car manufacturers had to pivot. If you build something valuable, someone's going to try and take it. The fix? Alarms, steering wheel locks, keyless entry fobs, GPS trackers. Car alarms were supposed to be this brilliant deterrent. But here's the kicker. They almost never stop the theft. Half the time when a car alarm goes off, no one checks. It's just a part of urban background noise now. Sirens, dogs barking, car alarms. It's the modern city soundtrack. And yet we keep installing them. We build smarter systems, encrypted keys, immobilizers. It's a full-on tech arms race between manufacturers and car thieves. And it's all just to fix the mistake of not securing the thing in the first place. We made something stealable, then we spent decades building tech to make it slightly less stealable. Sunscreen. The sun has always been there, shining, burning, giving life, also giving skin cancer. But it wasn't always a problem. The thing is, humans used to live more in sync with nature. We had melanin, we had shelter, we didn't lie shirtless on a beach for 6 hours holding a margarita. We were protected naturally. But then came modern society, with its beach holidays, ozone layer damage, and aesthetic goals that involve bronzing your entire epidermis like it's a rotisserie chicken. So yeah, we made sunscreen. And it's great, SPF this, UVA that, waterproof for 40 minutes. But let's be clear, it's something we had to invent because we changed how we interact with the environment. We started spending hours under intense sunlight without the evolutionary buffer. We damaged the ozone with pollutants. Then we were like, hey, what if we put white goo on our faces to not die? It's literally a lotion to protect us from a star because we forgot to respect the star in the first place. Warning labels. This one's hilarious and sad. We had to invent warning labels because humans are way too good at doing things they definitely shouldn't. Somewhere along the way, lawyers and insurance companies realized that the average person might look at a hairdryer and think, you know what? Let's use this in a bathtub. Or see a chainsaw and wonder, can this trim my beard? So, manufacturers started slapping warning labels on everything. Sometimes to avoid lawsuits, sometimes because people actually tried these things. We're talking labels like do not eat on silica gel packets, contents may be hot on coffee cups, or not to be used as an actual flotation device on pool noodles. And look, it's not that we're dumb. It's that we're curious, impulsive, and occasionally very dumb. So instead of trusting people to just not lick glue, we had to invent a global system of tiny signs that scream "don't" in all caps. We basically needed a user manual for life because we kept trying to speedrun Darwinism. Speed bumps. Cars gave us freedom. Also, speed demons. Once we had cars, we discovered a unique human urge to see how fast we could go down residential streets. And it turns out, as fast as possible is not ideal when there are kids, cyclists, dogs, and the occasional runaway trash can involved. So what do? We started installing lumps of asphalt in the middle of the road. That's it. That's the fix. We made the road worse on purpose to force people to slow down. Speed bumps, speed tables, rumble strips. They're all part of this quiet war between safety and chaos. And they actually work. Sort of. They make drivers slow down, they reduce accidents, and they make sure people aren't treating your neighborhood like the Nürburgring. But think about it. We spent billions building this incredibly smooth, fast, interconnected highway system. And then we were like, yeah, but let's add a bunch of bumps so we don't ruin it with our own stupidity. A beautifully ironic Band-Aid on a beautifully overbuilt wound. And that's just a small slice of the stuff we've built to fix the other stuff we built because of stuff we did because we didn't think too far ahead. It's kind of beautiful, honestly. Humanity doesn't always get it right the first time or the second, but we do keep trying. Patch by patch, layer by layer, like duct taping a leaky rocket mid-flight. Give a like and subscribe for similar videos. See you.